My friends, it is finally time for our 1-month review and results of the kbeauty brand Anua. This will be a review on this brand. I will be talking about using this brand for the month of April, how it's been, how my results have been. If you are only here for one product review, timestamps and links are always in the description box below, and you can jump around this video to your heart's content. We are going to start with an intro to this video, which I've realized we always do, in which we will chat more about what we're doing here today, as well as the ingredient Heartleaf. First of all, my apologies for not posting on Monday. Ara and I took some time off, and then we both got a little under the weather. You can probably hear it in my voice. I also am joined today by a pimple. His name is Art Vandelay. And it's a bit frustrating because overall, you can see my results of using Anua were pretty good, but we are gonna roll with having a pimple today because it's actually going to turn into a really good way to talk about some of these products. I'm an optimist. And as for disclosure, I want to tell you all a few things. I know that Anua as a brand has kind of gone viral. I originally found this brand, I think in 2021. If you go back to my old videos, you will see me talking all about this one, the viral product, the Heartleaf 77 Soothing Toner. All the time, I called it a favorite. The brand found me, and I did do a sponsored video on this product with them because, you know, that just felt like the perfect sponsorship. If you love a product, if you've been calling it one of your favorites and a brand says, hey, can we pay you to talk about a product that we already know you love? Is that not the perfect sponsorship? Is it not? I know I've talked about this before, so I'll try to make this brief, but I try to talk about the nuance. The reality is most products that hit the market should be good. They should have gone through testing. They should be well formulated by cosmetic chemists that know what they're doing. Most products should be good. But there's a big difference between good products and products that will work well for each of you individually. And that's where getting into the nuance can be really helpful to help you to spend your money more wisely on products that are designed for your skin and your skin's needs. And I like to focus on that, but sometimes people tell me I'm too harsh of a reviewer. So I'm just going to tell you now, in today's video, there are 4 products that I love and I can see myself repurchasing. And there are 4 that I would not repurchase. They're not bad, they're good products, but I'm gonna tell you why I wouldn't repurchase them. My comment section should always be open so that you can share your experience, whether we had a similar experience or a complete opposite experience. That's skincare. We are all different. We all have different needs. Now, I also want to briefly talk about Heartleaf as an ingredient. We got to distinguish. We are talking about Houttuynia cordata. This is the Heartleaf that is common in Asian countries, and it also has been used in traditional medicine. And we actually have some pretty compelling research on this ingredient. We have seen its impact on UVB damage, and it doesn't stop there. We actually have identified the constituents in the plant that we believe are acting in this mechanism. So no wonder that Heartleaf is a great ingredient for antioxidant activity, for antibacterial activity, for fighting inflammation. And one more quick note here, we just talked about this, but remember Anua is doing the thing where they tell you there is 77% of this Heartleaf extract in these products. This will all have to change in the upcoming couple of years. Korea has changed their regulations. We talked about this in that video. If you don't understand it, please feel free to go watch me put some spinach on my face to make a point. And with that said, let's get into what I know some of you are here for, product reviews. I'm going to rank everything I tried with one exception. That is the niacinamide 10% and tranexamic acid 4% serum. I'm so sorry. A lot of people asked me to review this. I was so excited about trying it. But I don't do well with these high levels of niacinamide. I was actually seeing my skin looking more irritated. I was getting more breakouts, so I just kind of gave up on this one. If you have tried this, I encourage you to share your experience in the comment section below because, again, nothing is for everyone, and I just had to say this is not for me. I will tell you one more thing before I move on from this product, though. It's interesting to see a kbeauty brand come out with such a potent product. Anua has a few of those. They do have a handful of potent products. And now, for the reveal of my favorite product from Anua. Place your bets now. You are probably right. You are probably right. It is still the viral Heartleaf 77% Soothing Toner. I doubted myself on the name of it for a moment there. I love this toner, but I want to explain it to you to the best of my abilities. First of all, like we were talking about in the section on Heartleaf, this really does feel like it is helpful for people like me who deal with acne, but not just acne, specifically inflammation. Remember how I said Art Vandelay was going to come back up in this conversation? So you need to know something about my acne. I really experience a lot of problems with inflammation in my skin. As I said, I'm a bit under the weather, and it is shocking. It is shocking to me how much I always break out when I get sick. There is no exception to this rule. It doesn't matter how good the rest of my skin looks. And because Heartleaf has these antibacterial and antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties, I really think that this is correct in calling itself the soothing toner. I think this will really help for people that deal with inflammation. I think you are the target audience for this product. It is also a hydrating toner, but let me just be blunt with you. It's not the best for hydration. There are better products in my opinion. We just talked about one in Friday's video. The COSRX Propolis Toner, I genuinely think that's a better option for people considering this for hydration. Every time a product goes viral, somebody somewhere says, I don't understand why this is so popular. It did nothing for me. I genuinely think if you already perhaps have a very hydrating product and then you buy this for additional hydration, it might actually do nothing because, in my opinion, hydrating isn't the main characteristic of this product. It's soothing. I've also seen some people say that they were experiencing irritation from this. Wait a minute, Alice, you just said it's supposed to be soothing. When you look at the ingredients, you do see some other plant extracts. And while Heartleaf overall seems to have a pretty low irritation capacity, not all of those plant extracts do. I would say something like the chamomile might be to blame here. By the way, when we talk about a high allergy prevalence, please know that that means around 5% of the population as opposed to, 0.005%. The catch with that is if you are in that 5% of the population who has an allergy, it doesn't feel like it's not a lot of people, does it? Because it's you, and you are you. Therefore, it's 100% of all people you've ever been. But I would absolutely say to check the other plant extracts, especially if you are somebody who does have known allergies, but it can be hard to know your allergies. And the final reason why I love this toner so much is because this is such a versatile product. Ironically, I feel like a lot of this is because it's not the most hydrating product. It's very soothing and it's very versatile. As you can see, I added a sprayer to my bottle here. It did not come like that. I added it. Anua says you can do that. You can decant this into a sprayer bottle of your choice. Just make sure it's clean. I also can use this to make my own toner pads. I can use it as a wiping toner. I can make my own sheet masks with this. You see, I love using those compressed sheet masks. I talk about it all the time, and I'll even show you a demo making my own sheet masks with this toner. It's so fun to watch the compressed sheet mask expand and turns into a sheet mask, but you have to use a very watery toner with that, and this is watery, so it works. Oh, and by the way, this is my my 5th bottle of this, so I'm calling it a 1-month trial, but I've tried a lot of these products a lot longer. So I really hope the nuance is helpful for you. Keep in mind that this is going to be the case with every viral product that you ever hear about. Absolutely no skincare product is for everyone. Sorry if my eyes are red. I was just coughing off screen, but you know what? I'm such an optimist that I was over here going, I may be sick, but you know what I don't have? I don't have any of those little bites in my mouth. Oh, it's a great day. Do you know what I'm talking about, where you can't stop sucking in your lip? It's the worst. It's the worst. Let's move on to my number 2 pick, and this one did surprise me. I don't think I expected to love this as much as I did, but the Anua Heartleaf Pore Control Cleansing Oil is a really nice cleansing oil. Now, listen, Anua is saying that this is for acne-prone skin. They say it's non-comedogenic. Just so you all know, I don't personally find the comedogenicity scale to be very helpful for myself. I understand that it helps some people, but for me, I kind of ignore it. And I think that's kind of why I went into this side-eyeing it a bit, but I have to admit, I do really like this. It's a perfect in-between cleansing oil texture. Some of them are very light, some of them are more heavy. This is exactly in the middle. It does have some fragrance, so it probably won't be for everyone, but again, for me, I find that that works just fine in the cleansing step. And while Anua doesn't really clarify whether this can be used as a single cleansing oil or whether you have to use it as part of a double cleansing system, I found that it did work for my dry skin on its own. There's a little bit more of a kind of sensation on my skin after using it entirely on its own than something like the Peach and Lily cleanser that I used in my PM routine. But using this as a double cleanse, it all comes off. Basically, I think they did a great job on this cleansing oil. My number 3 pick from Anua really surprised me. I don't think I expected to love this one as much as I did either, but it is their new Nano Retinol 0.3% Renewing Serum. You know what I like so much about this? First of all, they are disclosing everything, and that is so important to me in choosing a retinoid product. I understand why some companies don't. I really do. You know, you can get a synergistic effect. You can boost the efficacy of certain ingredients by including others, and that's sort of why a lot of companies don't like disclosing. But for me, I like knowing, and it's okay if you like knowing. It's okay if you don't mind not knowing. They're telling you the niacinamide percentage, 5%. That's a great, well-studied, well-documented level for evening out the skin tone. We know that that ingredient combines well with retinol as well, and they're saying nanoretinol trademark at 0.3%. Now, when you see something like a trademark, you know that it is a complex, and complexes often give me a complex. I say it all the time. Okay, but what's the percentage of the active in that complex? Well, Anua tells us 0.11% retinol. That is a fantastic beginner level, and you are still getting that synergy from the 5% niacinamide as well. And do you see everything else that is going on in this formula? Peptides, ceramide ingredients, panthenol. There is a lot going on, even some tea tree oil, which keep in mind is an essential oil that may be helpful for people that are dealing with acne, but still is an essential oil. So one bit of a heads up with this, again, because it has a lot of plant extracts, you might want to proceed with caution if you do have a more reactive skin type. But I'm shocked how well this went for me. And again, remember, I use adapalene. But because it's a nice beginner level, I was actually able to incorporate this in this past month, and things have been going well. Aside from, again, Art Vandalay and getting sick in the whole ordeal, I do actually feel my skin did great with this, and I love the disclosure. My 4th pick, and a product I had to actually really try not to finish before we get to this final review, the Heartleaf Silky Moisture Sun Cream. Y'all, this is that new formula, no white cast. It is such an upgrade. This is so dreamy to apply. It is still going to give you a bit of a dewy look, but it's very lightweight in the way that it sits on your skin, the way that it feels. It feels just like applying a nice moisturizer or primer. I do want to let you all know, I was looking through reviews of this sunscreen, and while it works really well for me, I did see some people saying that they were experiencing some irritation from this. Yet again, and this is just a consistent thing with Anua, they've added a lot of plant extracts, and that's not going to work for every last person. So again, know your skin. If you do tend to react to plant extracts, proceed with caution. And as a tip, for those of you who resonated with what I just said, we are eventually going to get to P-Calm, and this water barrier sun cream, one of the best options for sensitive skin. And my friends, we are now moving into the products that I actually don't see myself repurchasing. Again, remember, if you disagree with anything, feel free to comment. I will not get mad at you. Okay, so the Heartleaf 77 clear pad. I used up a pretty good amount of them, but I just have to admit to you that something really funny happened. So remember when I first got these Yesstyle Onion New Pair clear pads in, I actually said I wasn't loving these because I felt like the cotton that is used to make the pads was falling apart. Do you know I've actually come to appreciate that? Because it turns out I can intentionally tear them apart and get even more for my money. How many pads are in here? 60 pads, but I'm treating them like it's 120. I'm sorry, I can't help but think about saving money. I cannot help it. Anua's pads, in contrast, are smaller. Let me actually show you a quick comparison of these. Here's the Yesstyle. You can see what I'm talking about. They come apart very easily. And here is the Anua. You can't really tear the Anua apart. It's much thinner and it has a textured side and a non-textured side. This is the same on both sides. I do like these though. I do think it's a good product. It's a way to get some Heartleaf into your routine and also some gluconolactone. Now, in a recent video, I talked about gluconolactone, which is PHA, which is a larger molecule that exfoliates your skin. What you should know about gluconolactone is that in the research, it's actually been studied at levels between 10 and 20%, where we see an impact on hydrating, moisturizing the skin. Don't try to do that with glycolic acid. Please don't try. Don't try. It goes to show how you have to treat every ingredient individually. But this is to say, for me, I don't feel like I'm getting a lot of exfoliation, which is both a good thing and also an unpredictable thing. I do like the inclusion of the Cica actives that you see in bold at the bottom of my ingredients list. Speaking of constituents, those are part of the Centella asiatica plant that we believe are responsible for the calming and soothing effect. So for me, you will see me finish these. These will eventually, probably pretty soon actually, they will be in an empties, but I just don't see myself repurchasing these specifically. This one I have a little bit of inner conflict on. The Anua BHA 2% Gentle Exfoliating Toner. Listen, I love to see this as an alternative to the Paula's Choice Exfoliating BHA 2% Toner. It is more affordable. It is in the same concept, the same general theme. It is salicylic acid at 2%, not betaine salicylate, salicylic acid, which I just said kind of funny. I said that in a very sing-song way, but you know what? I would listen to an artist who sang about how much we love skincare. Taylor Swift, where you at? They added ceramides, hyaluronic acid, some tea tree extract, not the oil. Overall, it is a nice formula, but I feel like it's kind of strong. You know, the funny thing about BHA is that in a lot of formulas, it's at a lower pH. We have newer research that suggests maybe it doesn't need to be at a lower pH. And hilariously enough, that's why Yesstyle has received some grief over their 2% BHA chestnut toner. But at the end of the day, I like this one more because Anua's does feel stronger. Anytime you have that lower pH, it's going to feel stronger. But is it necessarily? That's debatable. So with this one, I'm glad I tried it, and again, it's a more affordable option to some of our Western products, but for me, as somebody who has said Yesstyle is my favorite K-beauty brand, I guess it's not surprising that for my two replacements, so far, we have Yesstyle replacing them. This next product might be the most surprising of all because I admit to you that for a while in this trial, I was going, wait, I love this. The Anua Heartleaf Intense Calming Cream. I was going, I absolutely love this. I am getting this great Heartleaf ingredient. The packaging is kind of brilliant. Look at this. They've got this scoop built right into the lid here. And it is a heavy, it's so hard to capture white on camera. It's a heavy cream. I'll show you the application. But I just gotta be honest with you about why it is beneficial for YouTubers to do much more than just a first impression. I liked this for a couple of weeks, and then somewhere in week number 3, it really started to hit me that I actually wasn't that impressed with this product. It's not bad. It's overall good. But somewhere in week 3, I realized that this really reminds me a lot of, again, a favorite affordable product. It reminds me so much of the e.l.f. moisturizer. See, again, I can't capture it on film. Hold on, we'll do a swatch. But yes, you see where I'm going with this, right? It reminds me of e.l.f. All right, here's the Anua and here's the e.l.f. This isn't any kind of hate against e.l.f. nor Anua. It's just that, you know, I think what we're talking about here is how when a brand gets really hyped, they're able to sell their products for, you know, $25, $28 for this. But to me, I realize that it reminds me of a $12 moisturizer. And I think this could be relative also. You know, I already talked about how much I plowed through 2 of these Heartleaf products, the toner as well as the toner pads. Maybe at some point I just don't need more of this Heartleaf ingredient in my routine. I didn't feel like this was giving me additional calming. But moisturizer admittedly is one of those necessary steps in a routine. So maybe if you're somebody who doesn't want the toner, you don't want the toner pads, maybe you might like this a lot more than I did. Once I had this realization, it hit me that price will always be a final factor in my reviews. I just can't tell you that I'm going to repurchase a $28 moisturizer when I feel a $12 one gives me the same things. And in last place here, the Peach 70 Niacin Serum. Let me confess to you all, I was very tempted to tell you, this just doesn't do anything, but I'm working on banning that phrase. I say working on because I may have said it in the past, I don't remember, but if we can ban phrases like I'm obsessed with and you need to buy this, which we've banned, you try to find me saying that, you won't. Then I can also ban this doesn't do anything because it's not going to be true. Look, it's got humectants in it. It's going to hydrate, but I might not notice that hydration if my skin is already thoroughly hydrated. And in the case of this product, it is also lightly hydrating. And 5% niacinamide, we already had a 5% niacinamide product. Remember that one? Was I using this and then trying to use this at night? Dear skin. Hold on. I'm writing an apology letter to my skin. You can see I got through half the bottle of this. I was really hopeful with this one. I thought maybe it would be kind of similar to the Glow Recipe Dewdrops, but it's just, it's not to me. In spite of all of those ingredients, some of which I love, I typically love algae in skincare, it just wasn't giving me enough added effects. Now again, if you aren't using already hydrating products, if you aren't already using a 5% niacinamide product, you might have a very different experience from me. Alpha-arbutin is in this product. It should have been slightly brightening, but I do already use azelaic acid. Anyway, I think what I'm trying to convey here is that redundancy, as we've talked about quite a few times on this channel, is a real thing, and if you add in a product that is already redundant, you may not feel that you see anything from that product, and yet that doesn't mean the product completely does nothing, it just does nothing for your routine. I will allow it. I will allow myself to say this added nothing to my personal skincare routine. And my friends, that's it. That's my ranking of Anua skincare. As you saw, we almost finished a lot of these products. I overall had a great experience, but I didn't love everything. And that's the reality of skincare. But I hope this was helpful. I always hope it's more helpful to give you a lot of these details, to talk about the nuance, to help you decide whether a product is for you or not. As always, you can get these products from Yesstyle or Stylevana. I'll include my discount codes in the description box below if you would like to help support the channel. But that's it for today's video. As always, let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you have tried Anua, what you've loved, what you haven't loved. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Stay tuned for Tier, which will be our brand of the month for May. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week. And I will see you all next time.